Hello, everybody. How you doing today? It's a nice day here. Hope you're having a good day. Of course, it's a great day because, as the psalmist said, this is the day the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. I mean, if you're awake and listening to this, and you were allowed to live one more day, and God gave you another chance to do something good for Him. So consider those things. The title of the lesson is God is not the enemy. Now, while it is true that many people around the world display a true animosity towards God and they've made themselves enemies of God, God is not the enemy. See, everyone who loves this world more than God becomes an enemy of God. James 4:4 tells us that friendship with the world makes us an enemy of God. And of course, most people understand the word enemy to be those who want to cause you harm. And many people have developed the idea that God is just waiting to zap them for their disobedience. And that is certainly not true. God has a desire for all people, and that desire is for the good of all. Throughout the Bible, we can read that God takes no pleasure in the death of the wicked, and God is actually sorrowful when people suffer because of the problems they bring on themselves. In fact, God has given us all the tools we need to help us be blessed and successful. And so we read that there in 2 Peter 1 and verse 3. So we have all these tools to be blessed and successful. And God is for us and willing to be a defender and protector for the righteous. Yes. Yes, there's still going to be those who will reject him. And sadly, there's really nothing that can be done for those people. When people reject God and become rebellious toward him, God withholds the blessings that he has promised to all. The reason he withholds blessings is so that people, through their suffering, will come to learn they need to have dependence on God. And so, yes, that's one of the greatest things we can learn is to depend on God. In Leviticus 26 and also in Deuteronomy chapter 28, they read almost identical. It explains that God will offer blessings to those who obey him and those who honor him and treat him as God. And in each of those chapters, there's also the warning. God warns what will happen if people turn away from serving him. See, all the suffering and problems are allowed in hopes that people will turn from their sinful ways and serve God. We see the effectiveness that God did in the days of the judges. When the people turned their back on God, a persecutor came up against them. They cried out to the Lord, and the Lord sent someone out to deliver them. And so God is always willing to help deliver people if they're willing to turn back to God and serve him. So, all mankind has a shared enemy, and it is not death. Yeah, that's the fate. Death is the fate that nobody is going to miss. So, yes, we have that. But the enemy that we have, it would be assumed that the enemy of mankind is some sort of evil in the form of maybe a radical religious group or some plague or pandemic, maybe an asteroid striking the earth. I mean, that's what we're afraid of. That's what we think is going to be the enemy of mankind. No. That will not be the common enemy of mankind. The common enemy is that which removes us from the love of God. And yep, you guessed it. God has already declared that he wants to bless his creatures, and especially man who is made in his image. The common enemy, which has become a problem for most of humanity, is selfishness. Another word for selfishness is sin. Yes, I said it. Alright, see, people become so selfish that they forget about others and learn to content themselves with ignoring other people's suffering. Selfishness manifests itself in several forms. Greed has caused hardship upon billions. pride has been a problem from the beginning. Fulfilling the lust of the flesh and the eyes has caused so many to depart from God. Few seem to realize that serving God produces the best blessings imaginable. See, God is not our enemy. He is our friend. He cares for mankind. He loves mankind so much that he gave his only begotten Son for all mankind to have the opportunity to be saved. God provides us, or mankind, everything that we need concerning our lives and our immortality in the pages of his holy Bible. The sad thing is that few choose to learn what is in the Bible. And a sadder thing is the fact that many know what is in the Bible, yet choose to ignore it. So God is not the enemy, but is treated as such. Many people despise God because God expects us to live righteous lives. Oh yeah, many people do not want to live righteous lives. They act as if God is punishing them by not allowing them to have their fun. You know, in the like fashion, the wicked of the earth have chosen to treat everything associated with God as an enemy. Even in our culture, there's a deep-seated animosity towards God, towards Christ, towards Christians, and of course churches. And it might help them feel better to treat such things with hatred, but in the end, they will stand before God and be judged by the things written in the books of God. So yes, it's all going to happen. God is not the enemy. He has done everything he can to prove his love and to provide his love for us and care for each and every human being alive. So do not turn your back on him, but open your heart to hear and learn what you must do in order to receive this salvation that he offers. See, this you must do by your own free will. Nobody can do it for you. Your duty to God is to worship him, honor him, obey him, glorify him, and finally, share his love with others. Yes, that is our Christian duty. All right, so remember that God's not the enemy, and so many people treat him as the enemy. So consider these thoughts. Hopefully, you'll share this message with others. You'll make some comments. Excuse me. And so, Lord willing, we'll be back tomorrow with another lesson. All right, y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.